Episode 8 of The Spencer Sisters starts at Edmond's School for the Performing Arts. Grace realizes the gag violin is missing as she prepares to close the school. Meanwhile, the Spencer sisters, accompanied by Billy and Sarita, are having a great time. They're celebrating Victoria's effort to finish her book, which Billy says is phenomenal. He mentions having an office in Monaco, which Darby notices. However, he dismisses that, saying they have an office in Morocco. Amidst the celebration, Victoria receives a call from Grace Davis, her pickleball partner, to help her retrieve the Gagliano violin, valued at $200,000. The piece was handcrafted by the top-notch violin maker Alessandro Gagliano in 1729, and there are few worldwide. The handcrafted art was loaned from the Metropolitan Music Foundation, one of the school's funders. Grace didn't call the police because she didn't want the foundation to know the violin was missing lest they cut off their funding. She also mentioned that the CCTV system was cut off at 8 p.m. and found the violin was missing at 9 p.m. The 1-hour gap is where the mystery is, and the Spencer sisters promise to retrieve the violin on time. Eliza and Grace say they are the only ones with the keys to the display case. But Grace suspects Atticus, a violin student, could be involved in this case. Despite being an excellent violinist, Atticus is also a real rebel and has been involved in several disciplinary cases. As they walk towards the cafe, Darby asks Victoria more about Billy. Darby feels her mother doesn't know Billy well, and her feelings towards him can cloud her rationale. When questioned, Atticus says he has a prank planned for this year and wants to get Maestro Oscar again. He reveals that Oscar never misses school, and he saw him at school around 8 when the violin went missing. Ray and Jasmine also seem not to know about the missing violin. They also interrogate Oscar, who says the top violin students are Jasmine and Olivia. He says Atticus is well gifted but seems not serious. Oscar says he left the premises at 6 p.m., but Atticus said he saw him at around 8, which is quite conflicting. The Spencer sisters discover that Oscar needs finances, especially for child support. He could have sold the violin to meet his financial obligations. While at the school, Grace and the Spencers hear a loud sound, and upon checking, they find Oscar and Eliza making out. They had nowhere else to go because Eliza lives with her brother and Oscar with his mother. Darby hands the display case keys to Eliza, showcasing that someone could have taken them while they were busy. Meanwhile, Darby had secretly requested Alistair to investigate more about Billy, and he finds no fault in his online information. This makes him feel there's something fishy about Billy since his online history doesn't sound real. While at home, Darby keeps questioning Billy about his office, workplace, and the university he attended. While leaving, Darby is skeptical that they're leaving Billy at home. On the other hand, Grace has a lead. Someone dropped a note in the suggestion box accusing Charlie of stealing the violin. They search Charlie's room and check through his computer, only to find that he had tried to search the value of Gagliano. Grace fires him even though they don't have concrete evidence that he stole the violin. However, Darby doesn't believe that Charlie stole the violin. Victoria goes on a lunch date with Sarita, who tells her that the publishers love her manuscript. Victoria says having Darby back at home makes her feel grounded and focused. Darby also asks Zane to do more background checks about Billy because she's worried about her mother. Billy might be a con or hustler who wants to scam her mother. The Spencer sisters discover that Olivia wrote the note framing Charlie of stealing the violin. Grace suspends Olivia from school and says he will rehire Charlie and apologize for unfair dismissal. Zane reveals that Billy may not be who he says he is. The 2019 track records established that Billy has used different names at different times. Meanwhile, Alistair barges in and informs the Spencers that the Gagliano violin was sold on the dark web. Darby recalls spotting a cryptocurrency ATM at the cafe, giving them another lead. At school, Ray and Jasmine's parents discover their kid stole and sold the violin on the dark web. Ray and Jasmine are happy that they will live far away from their nagging parents. However, Jasmine is growing doubtful about their plan and feels they're making a mistake. The Spencers rushes to the bus station to stop Ray and Jasmine from leaving. Victoria asks Ray about the missing violin and says the buyer asked for a meetup in Philadelphia. Ray claims that his dad pushes him hard to do what he doesn't want. Victoria requests Ray to hand him the violin but says he won't go home. His dad shows compassion, and the two students go back home. With the violin back to school, Atticus has a great chance to play this amazing piece of art as he wants. On the other hand, Alistair keeps digging into Billy's life, but Darby says she's done investigating him. She will give her mother a chance to have a happy love life. The episode review. This was an interesting episode as Darby started suspecting Billy more. She is looking out for her mom, but Victoria will not perceive it this way. Darby's intuition is on the right path. She should investigate Billy for definite. On the other hand, it is clear that Alistair has feelings for Victoria but is too scared to tell her. I am surprised that Darby has yet to say anything about this. However, she may be giving Alistair time to gather courage and confess. The case in this episode was intriguing, too. Sometimes, we don't realize how much we expect from our kids, and they end up cracking under pressure. It was nice to see Ray and his dad have an honest talk.